Okay, good afternoon. Like after lunch, it's always good to sleep for 5 minutes, but not in this class. After this class, you can sleep. Okay. It's really difficult to listen to Constitution of India at 12:15. I know, but let's see. It's a very enjoyable topic as of now. Like what we dealt with in the previous class was. Let me start here my presentation. Presentation in the sense. Uh, has it started? No. Okay. What we discussed till now. I hope I'm audible. Aditya, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So what we discussed till now was how India was formed after British, the physical aspects of how the boundary, etc., instrument of accession. And then in the previous class, what we discussed was the historical background as to how our constitution was framed. So though I went in an elaborate manner through all the years, from the point of view of knowing history, that is good. But from the point of view of your examination, from examination point of view, it's always better for you to remember certain, so 5 or 6 years, right from the charter, then jump on to Sepoy mutiny, then jump on to the formation of INC, and then you can even go to you just mentioned about Minto-Morley reforms, all those things, and then jump on to 1928, when Jawaharlal Nehru presented the draft of the Constitution of India, and then you can even mention about M.N. Roy, who brought about the idea of Constituent Assembly, and then very importantly, 1935, British government came up with the Government of India Act 1935. I hope you are noting all this down. Then after 1945, that is very important. 1945, you can mention that Churchill gave way to Clement Attlee, and then the Viceroy Wavell, Lord Wavell, agreed for a Constituent Assembly. And very important date is 9th December 1946, before 1947, just before 1946, 9th December. This 9 you have to remember. 9th December 1946, Constituent Assembly met for the first time. Took Sachidanand Sinha, Dr. Sachidanand Sinha was selected as a temporary chairman, and further later permanent chairman was elected as Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Then again, 1947 our independence. 1948, this is what I have written here. 1948, B.R. Ambedkar was chosen as the chairman for drafting committee. And drafting committee for what? Drafting the Constitution of India. And this is a very important date, which is 26th November 1949. Remember, in between these two, this 1947 has happened. Okay. So 26th November 1949, Constitution was adopted or enacted, and you call it as a Republic Day. So just you can just mention about certain things. First, start with the Queen's Charter, then you can jump on to the Regulatory Act. Also, it's good that if you can mention about Warren Hastings becoming the Governor General of Bengal and so on, if you are interested. Most importantly, you should come to one Sepoy mutiny, and one more year, 1858, Queen's Declaration, where the EIC, that is the East India Company, came under the direct control of British Parliament. Earlier, East India Company was ruling us. East India Company came under the direct control of British government, British Parliament. INC, Indian National Congress, was formed in 1885. Then Nehru presented in 1928 draft. Then M.N. Roy can be mentioned. 1935, British Parliament, brought forward the Government of India Act 1935. You can jump on to 9th December 1946. Then 1948 drafting committee. 26th November 1949, the Constitution was adopted. Now, why, if I were the question paper setter, I will not put, I will not ask you on which date was this, then on which date was that, then etc. I'll just ask you for the why, how, and how the Constitution evolved from the historical background. That's all. So you have to remember only certain important milestones. That's enough. I don't know who is going to put the question paper. So I hope you appreciate how Constitution was drafted. Okay. Now we are now entering the door to the Constitution, the preamble. Preamble. The very first thing that you see when you open the Constitution of India is a preamble. Preamble is nothing but like a, manual, which is available with every electrical device or whatever. And they give a manual of an equipment is like it gives you an idea as to how to use it. How to use it. Similarly, preamble gives an idea of all the, it gives an idea, I hope you are noting this down, an idea of the articles in the Constitution, of the articles. Articles, you will come to those later on. Articles inside the Constitution, in the Constitution. Okay. Now, what is the word preamble comes from the Latin word preambulus. Preambulus meaning go before. Latin. It is from that you get the word preamble. So what is preamble? It is certain words that I write, you just note it down, then explain it, expand it to whole sentence, and then it becomes your answer. What is preamble? It is an introductory statement. Introductory statement. Like when you there, like a preface or something, just like that you have the preamble. It's an introductory statement for the Constitution, and it says the following. What does it say? It says what is its main purpose, why this Constitution has been written, what is its main purpose. Then its philosophy, what nature is it, what is philosophy, what is the idea, why is it done, what is the philosophy, what kind of nature is it approaching to. Then its uses, then its ideas and inspirations. We'll come to the, you need not write all these things. Whatever came into my mind as to, from whatever I have read and seen, I have written. Then some principles. Main purpose can also be denoted by objectives. So it is an introductory statement which, after reading which, you will know what you are going to see or what you are going to read as the Constitution. What is its main purpose? What kind of Constitution is it? It is why this Constitution is written? What is its use? What are the ideas there? So it is actually a blueprint. Preamble is a blueprint of the Constitution, about the acts in the Constitution. Acts means acts which are in the form of articles or laws. The idea of main purpose, its philosophy, all those things which I have written, the idea of the articles in there, or it is a blueprint. Who drafted? So that is a preamble, just like the preface in any book. Even in your textbook, if you take us any standard book, there will be an introduction as to what we have to expect within that book. So that is there in the preamble. Who drafted it? Who drafted the preamble? Who drafted the preamble? So, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Pandit Nehru, in the Constituent Assembly, the Constituent Assembly was formed So in the Constituent Assembly presented a draft which was called as objective resolution. Objective resolution. He presented a draft in the Constituent Assembly. Okay, this was called as objective resolution. When did he present it? It was presented on 13th December. You didn't even remember that date, but you remember it is before the independence, 1946, which was later adopted in 1947 as the preamble. Okay. So Pandit, who drafted the preamble? Pandit Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. How did he do that? He first presented a draft in the Constituent Assembly when it was called as objective resolution. This objective resolution was adopted as the preamble later on. And now, very important thing. Preamble. Now comes a very interesting thing. Preamble, as you know, has already been written or we have adopted it and enacted it along with the Constitution of India in 1950, January 26. Now, the conditions prevalent at that time and the conditions which are prevalent in India after that, in future, even now and in our future, may not be the same as that it were in 1950 when the preamble as well as the Constitution as a whole was adopted. So, is it okay if the preamble remains the same? Can it be amended at any time? Can it be amended? What do you mean by amended? Changed in any way. Can it be done? Preamble, the Constitution was written by giants of our independence movement. And after going through a number of sessions of discussions, etc., they have come up with a preamble. Okay, it was presented by Jawaharlal Nehru, and then they came up with the Constitution. So, can the preamble and the Constitution be amended? Now, to tell you the truth, the preamble has been amended only once. Only once it was amended. Through by 42nd Amendment Act. Amendment Act. Okay. The preamble was amended only once, very important. Only once. Till now, it has been amended only once. It has been changed only once. By the 42nd Amendment Act, this number you have to remember, 42nd Amendment Act, when they introduced 3 more words into the preamble itself. I am not speaking about the Constitution, only the introductory statement, preamble itself. 3 more words were added. One was socialist, second was secular, and the third, they added integrity. Integrity means it was initially only unity. It was then changed to unity and integrity. So these were the 3 words that were added in the preamble itself by the 42nd Amendment Act. Okay. So how does very important thing, how does the preamble start? Does the preamble start, this Constitution says that this? No. The preamble starts with the very famous sentence, we the people of India. We the people of India. The preamble starts and stands for the people of India. It is the source. The preamble stands on behalf of the people of India. Its first line is we the people of India. Okay. And it is said to be the source of Indian Constitution. We the people of India, nammalku vendiyanu. It is not just any article written just like that. It is being owned up by you, me, and every single person of India. The preamble starts with the sentence, we the people of India. Okay, so it has been, what I have covered in this portion is that the preamble, after looking through the what is a preamble? It is an introductory statement to achieve something. It's a blueprint of the about the acts and all those things within the constitution, and what is the nature, what is the objective, all those uses, etc. That is being explained in the preamble. And then we went on to who drafted the preamble. Of course, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru drafted it and presented it in the Constituent Assembly in 1946, which was then called as Objective Resolution, and later it was adopted after 1947 as the preamble of the Constitution, and then it was renamed as preamble. Can it be amended at all? Yes, it has been amended once and only once by the 42nd Amendment Act, when 3 words were added: socialist, secular, integrity. And it starts with, it owns, or stands for the people of every single person of India. That is, it starts with we the people of India. Okay. Now, what are the main words in preamble, and important words in the preamble? 1, sovereign. 2, democratic. 3, secular. 4, socialist. And 5, republic. Now, these 5 words give us the nature of the Constitution. The preamble, in the preamble, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 words. And these 5 words essentially describe the nature, how the Indian Constitution view is done, so that it looks after the welfare of Indians. Then there are 4 words which form the objectives. For what things does the Constitution stand for? 1 is justice. 2nd is equality, liberty, and fraternity. Justice, equality, liberty, freedom, fraternity, brotherhood. These 4 words are the objectives of the Constitution. Why do you write this Constitution? With what aim? 4 objectives are there: justice, equality, liberty, fraternity. And all these things were adopted on I am repeating this so that you remember, on the Constitution Day. When was the Constitution Day? 26th November 1949, when it was adopted as Indian Constitution. So remember these 5 words and 4 words. Okay. So what is a preamble? Now let me come to what is a preamble once again. What is a preamble? Preamble is an introductory statement and guide for the Constitution. It gives the source, we the people of India. It defines the nature. It establishes the objectives. Defines the nature and establishes the objective. What is the nature defined by? So defined by which all 5 words? Sovereign, democratic, secular, socialist, republic. And 4 words which establishes the objective: justice. It stands for justice, equality, liberty, and fraternity. Now I am going on to these important words one by one, and I'll explain and then stop. Okay. 1, sovereign. What do you mean by the word sovereign? Anyone? It is there in the preamble. I have not yet entered the constitution per se. We are just talking about the preamble. What do you mean? You have always heard India is a sovereign, socialist, democratic republic, secular republic. What is sovereign? Anyone? Is anyone there on the other side of this talk? Anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Any idea what is sovereign?
It is like a powerful.
It's okay. It is actually.
I think not remaining neutral in international affairs.
No. Sovereign means we are an independent. Okay. Sovereign means independent country. No external interferences. No external interferences. Okay. That is, we can manage our problem or our things by ourselves. No one is allowed to. No one will be taking care of us. The sovereign means now we are no longer British India. We are Indians. We will look after our own affairs. Okay. We will look after our own affairs. Understood? No external interferences. Okay. India has its own supreme law. No one need to put forward some law and govern us. Its own supreme law. And it is an independent country. And no interferences for any of its domestic operations. Okay. And so that is meant by sovereign. Second word is socialist. Someone should know what is socialist. Anyone? Socialist. Good that we learning Constitution of India. We didn't know what is socialist. Now, as I told you earlier, the socialist word was introduced into the preamble by the 42nd Amendment Act. 42nd Amendment Act. What is socialist? Actually, socialist is something like, a communist idea. Okay. Socialist is actually a communist idea. But in India, well, communist idea in the sense means of production. What do you mean by socialism? Communism and socialism. Means of production will be wholly or partially, I'll explain that, partially, controlled by government. Controlled by government. Now, if it is the communist aspect of communist view of socialism, as in China and other countries, we'll say that whatever is produced inside our country, it should be whole control will be by the government, and the government will be distributing it to everyone impartially. Everyone will get the same. I'm not going to contend about whether it is good or bad. Let's think about that later on. No, we have included socialism in the sense it is in the preamble. It is inspired by the philosophies of. In our case, it is inspired by the philosophies of Pandit Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi. How is it different from the others? So this thing, the objective is that the government will have to look after the welfare of all its citizens. It's not like the other kind of socialism where when I work and cultivate and find out something, this should be given to the government and government will equally distribute. No, our kind of socialism, the socialist word included in our preamble is inspired by the philosophies of Pandit Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi. And the objective of this is to bring in a welfare state. Our objective is to bring in a welfare state. That is, there should not be poverty. I'll just write down. No poverty. There should not be poverty, ignorance, inequality, and all these inequality and etc. All these should be eradicated. So this is our mission. So government will have to. It is the duty of the government to look after the needs of each and every citizen, so that these things are eradicated from the country. So that is our socialist. So one is sovereign, second is socialist. Let me go to another slide so that this remains here. Okay. Okay. And third is secularism or secular. Secular. This also was introduced by the 42nd Amendment Act. Okay, what is secular? That you should know. What is secular?
Madanirapekshada.
Madanirapekshada. What do you mean by that?
Not associating to any particular religion.
Correct. Secular means the state. State means country. Has no religion. Has no religion. Now, religion of its own. Okay, of its own. Now, secular, all of you should listen to this. The secular, the word meaning secular, is used in different angles in different countries. Like in countries, in many a case, secular is used as anti-religion or opposition to religion. Understood the difference? But what we are saying is that all religions can exist. There is no particular religion for the country, for the state. Okay. So if, for example, in France, they say that it is a secular country, and they say that no religion can be practiced publicly. In France, no religion can be practiced publicly. And in USSR, our old USSR, not even in the private life, they can practice religion. Okay. And there are certain Islamic states are there where the states have a certain religion. So that is not secular, but secular means in France was a secular country, USSR also secular country, but what was that? That was not the positive secularism that we are talking about. They wanted none of the religions to be practiced there. But our secularism is India has got a positive secularism. Positive secularism means freedom. Freedom to practice and profess and propagate any religion. Okay, that is very important. It is not that I have one religion and I am imposing that on. That is not secular. And another thing is that I can be secular by asking none of you to none of you to have any religion. That is a negative kind of secularism. But in India, what we have, according to our 42nd Amendment Act in the preamble, is the positive secularism, freedom to practice, profess, and propagate any religion. And the fourth word that we'll look at too is democracy, which you all know. Democracy. Demo means people. Cracy means rule. So rule of the people is called as democracy. The government will be formed by the will of the people. Will of the people. Okay. And democracy can be of two types. One is direct democracy and the other is indirect democracy. Direct democracy, the time is almost over, but I'll just finish this off. Okay. Direct democracy is the democracy which we have read was there in Greece, that every one of us, each one of the citizens will go to the parliament, and then majority will be giving the views, etc. But that is no longer possible. Indirect means we select our representatives by election. Representatives by election, and they represent that us in this, so in the parliament. So it is a democratic. And then the fifth word which defines the nature of our constitution is fifth word was republic. I'll stop with this. Okay, republic. What is a republic? As I told you, we have elected representatives, and the real head of the country is the Prime Minister, Preamble, and the nominated head is the President. But both of them are elected. Okay. Sorry, nominated, nominal. Okay, that is okay. 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 What do you mean by republic? Republic is opposite to monarchy. What is monarchy? What is, if you know what is monarchy, then you know what is republic. In many of the in movies you must have heard, Raja ka beta he Raja banega. This is called as heredity. And then he becomes the monarch. But republic is opposite of monarchy. Head of the state is elected and not nominated by heredity. Not nominated by heredity. So that is called as republic. Rajavinte magan Rajavu Rajavinte magan Mate Mohanlal adalla. Angane. This is always elected. So that is why you call India as, how did we start? India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, lastly, republic. Okay, so that is it for today. Now, let me stop my presentation. Yeah, that's it for today. So in tomorrow's class, we'll see whether why amendment was why preamble was amended at all, or not in the sense why. I may not go into the actual reason of why. How could the preamble be amended? Because was it amendable? Was the preamble being amendable in the first initially itself? Was there anything were there any controversies regarding this? And there is a very important case called Keshavananda Bharati court case, etc. case. He died very recently. This Keshavananda Bharati case or ruling had a very wide range of influence on our preamble as well as in the constitution. I will just go through it in a very small manner. You know, even I am not a lawyer or any constitution expert, but I'll just try to go through it in a very small manner. By the way, I hope today's class was useful for you. And you should feel very great about being an Indian, because you know the 5 words which gave you the nature of the constitution in itself are so strong, and you are so happily living in India because of this. Okay, thank you.